Good morning. Welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Wednesday, August 26th. Let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps, which are trading low. We're down 0.07% this morning. Markets are waiting some key economic data that's scheduled to be announced this morning pre-bell. And, plus we got these NVIDIA earnings that are coming out after the bell. So we're kind of like in a cautious stance right now. And plus you have oil prices. Oil prices are continuing to weaken. I mean, yesterday Iran and Oman apparently worked out an arrangement to facilitate the reopening of cargo traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. In addition, there are signs of progress on the diplomatic front, because we could return to that memorandum of understanding, which does raise the hopes of a de-escalation, easing concerns about supply disruption. So that's rather positive. But the key economic data point for today, PCE report. That's the inflation report. That's the one the market is waiting on. That's coming out pre-bell. In corporate news, BSX, Boysam X-rays weakening this morning after disclosing that a recent cyber event has affected its operations. Target, TGT, announced plans to launch a beauty product hubs in stores and online early next month. China's Moonshot AI is reportedly in discussions with Microsoft, Amazon, and Google on revenue share agreements that would allow them to host their Kimi K3 model. Software stocks are on watch, host of pending earnings announcements. On the earnings front, BOX, SJM, SMTC are trading higher, while Intuit and Zoom are trading lower after their earnings reports. Then, after the bell today, we got NVIDIA, we got Salesforce.com, we got CrowdStrike, Synopsys, Algient, Viva, ticker VEV, and HPQ were all scheduled to report. And then, Thursday morning, we got Dollar Tree, we got Dollar General, we got Health Equity, we got Best Buy, we got Burlington Stores, all scheduled to announce. Taking a look on the macro front, taking a look at the global markets, the DAX trading higher by 0.35%. Financials are higher, autos are mainly lower though. The FTSE just turned positive. It was lower all morning. We're seeing gains in mining shares. Energy stocks are moving lower for the most part. The CAC in Paris is up 0.62%, led by gains in luxury stocks. In Asia last night, the action was, mainly green as well. I mean, the Nikkei rose 0.62% overnight, with tech and financial shares gaining. The yen also moved higher, and then there's a BOJ member, a Bank of Japan member, indicated that a September rate hike is likely. Hong Kong finished higher by 141 points, or 0.56%, led by healthcare and tech stocks. Now, in China, the market was up 0.59%. Due to a host of positive factors. I mean, fiscal spending shows that healthcare expenditure is going to be one of the fastest growing categories, which is why you're seeing healthcare stocks rise. And plus, the expectations of renewed U.S.-Iran talks are helping to ease the geopolitical tensions. But overall, Asia was in the green. Now we're looking at oil this morning, and oil is trading lower. We got WTI at $80.52, and Brent is at $86.40. Two key themes here: Strait of Hormuz, possible reopening, and recent diplomatic efforts to reinstate the MOU. Those are the two top stories. Last night after the bell, you got the American Petroleum Institute data, which showed an increase of 4.2 million barrels for the week ending August 21. Now, that was well above expectations of 1.9 million barrel build, and that's ahead of today's EIA data. But that is definitely causes weakness in oil prices. Turn our attention over to earnings real quick. We're going to start off with SMTC, Symantec. Stocks up, about 0.8%. They beat by 10 cents. They did it on higher revenue. Looking at the Zoom Communications, ZM, stocks trading down 7.15%. They delivered a beat of 7 cents on higher revenue. And Intuit, INTU, that stock's down 9.44%. They beat by 44 cents on higher revenue. After the bell today, we get NVIDIA. Their EPS is $2.09. Expected move is 5.91%. We got CrowdStrike, CRWD, EPS is 29 cents. Expected move is 8.13%. And Salesforce, CRM, their EPS is $3.27 with an expected move of 7.54%. when they release today after the bell. In terms of economic reports, packed calendar, durable goods at 8:30, GDP at 8:30, PCE at 8:30. Then at 10:30 we got the EIA inventory report for crude oil. 11:45 a.m. we got Richmond Fed Bank President Thomas Parkin speaking. In terms of FANG stock news, I mean, it's really about these Chinese AI models gaining traction in the U.S. China's Moonshot AI in discussions with revenue sharing agreements with Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. They would allow them to host their models. So, yeah, that's positive. Meta, they plan to, reduce their workforce by using, AI, functions. But that plan really backfired and it really caused them to cancel that second round of layoffs that they had initially planned for. In terms of Dow Jones 30 news, Apple debuts its M6 and M5 chips with major AI performance gains. In terms of guidance, Kohl's, KSS. I mean, this was really interesting to me because they delivered a very strong outlook. I mean, stock's down 5.88% this morning after earnings, but for the full year 2026 adjusted EPS, $1.80 to $2.40, whereas in street estimates $1.43. Then you got ANF, Abercrombie and Fitch. That stock's up 11.54%. They see Q3 EPS coming in $2.90 to $3.20, and the street estimates $2.85. Then we got Zoom Communications, ZM. That stock's lower this morning, but they see, Q3 EPS coming in at $1.46 to $1.48, where the street estimates is $128 billion. So, yeah, that's not bad. All right, let's talk about buybacks. NCCO, they announced 100 million they announced an additional 100 million to its share repurchasing plan. Okay, let's move on to today's pick of the day. I'm going to go with Best Buy, BBY, Boy Yellow. Could be a little boring, but I think it could be positive because the earnings are out tomorrow morning. Now, the EPS is $1.35, and the expected move is 8.27%. Yesterday's call volume was 9,994 calls to 6,445 puts. That's a put-call ratio of 0.64. I like that. Sweet spot area. Open interest, 50K to 46K. Still positive. The major brokers, they're raising price targets, but for me, I want to get in under 85. A high 84 print would be good. Okay, let's talk about the stocks that are moving this morning in the market that's causing some volatility. Kraft Heinz had transferred stock listing to the NYSE. Eli Lilly announces results from Zepbound healthcare cost study. Wayfair plans to open its 10th store in Florida in 2028. Let's see what else we got here. GSK, FDA approves a drug to treat HIV infections in newborns. Abbott Lab receives 10-day authorization for Lebo Duo, a 10-day system. Okay. Smucker's Jam called a cash cow. Let's see what else we got here. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about yesterday's pick of the day. I went with Zoom, ZM ticker, and listen, it did work out. I mean, the stock opened up at 103.61, and then it hit a high of 104.63, which beats the 1% right there. Then it fell. Now, I was in and out of this a couple times, making money each time, just trading the volatility in the shares, because you saw the stock would see these big dips, and I was able to pick up, some cash each time. So, Zoom Communications was a winner, even though the stock is getting hit. And the earnings weren't bad. The report really wasn't that bad, and the guidance is still good. But Zoom Communications is trading off, but it was not a horrible report. All right, traders, that concludes today's NewsWare's Trade Talk podcast. You guys know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.